You're still watching The Morning Show here on Arise News. Welcome back to the program. And joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Good morning, Oji.
Good morning, Leila. How are you?
I love your dress.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. Thank you, Leila. I love your dress too. Good morning, Tindun. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. All right. And good morning to you, viewers. We begin what's trending today in Nigeria. The First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, has apologized for the embarrassment of a video where she was seen shouting in Aso Rock. According to Sulaiman Haruna, her spokesman, the First Lady tendered the apology when she played host to the wives of governors of 36 states at the presidential villa in Abuja. Commenting on the video, the First Lady extended her apology to her children, her immediate family members, and all well-meaning Nigerians over the embarrassment the video had caused. The video was recorded by Fatima, daughter of Maman Daura, who alleged that the First Lady attacked her inside the presidential villa. The First Lady also expressed appreciation to the President for approving a new set of aids to assist her in carrying out her various responsibilities. Very nice that the First Lady apologized. I mean, it was about time that she did.
I would have apologized if I was her, though. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, I think that it was important for her to have done that. Obviously, she felt embarrassed. She felt embarrassed mainly for her family and for the position that she holds as the First Lady to be, displaying in that manner. I think it was important that she apologized.
She was in private quarters in the villa. And then again, I mean, she's a human being.
Yeah.
We all get angry sometimes.
Yes.
And we just melt down,
yes.
So I don't think it's anything for her to be embarrassed about. After all, she's not even the person who released the video.
This is the thing.
Yeah,
So I think who needs to apologize.
But I think, what she has shown is to just show good grace, our own way of moving on, and reassuring everybody that look, I put this behind me.
Or that she's not a woman that has a temper.
So that's
there was nothing even too violent that I saw in that video. I just saw someone that was irritated, frustrated, and
in that particular
angry, as she's
video,
allowed to be.
But the interview went on to say that, in other videos that were not released, the First Lady had attacked Fatima and she had, gone to the glass house and thrown a chair and tried to, attack Fatima violently. So, I mean, I think that was more what she was apologizing about than the fact that she was in that scene in that video in that manner.
Well, I mean...
Well, throwing a chair
Throwing a chair, because those were the...
much.
Wasn't there even an allegation by the lady that, whether she broke the glass or something?
Yes, that she threw the chair and she broke the glass and, going through that type of...
I didn't recall that because, honestly, I've tried to put this out of my mind. I just think it's a family issue. I think that the wife of the president, because he did say he was not going to have an office of the First Lady, so what is this, really? But I feel like maybe she was under a lot of pressure because of the injury that her son had sustained.
At the
it
point,
wasn't the best time of her life.
Exactly.
So maybe that's what caused all the stress. And it was a family dispute that ended up getting leaked. That, for me, is the issue. It should not have been leaked. It should not be in the public domain at all.
And that's the embarrassment there.
And nobody should release any other video.
I think, Dr. Abati, everyone has gotten your point. I don't think that video is coming out anytime soon.
It mustn't.
I don't think that video will come out.
We all get angry sometimes.
Yes, I mean, which is what you said, Leila, which is right. I mean, she's a woman of authority, and she was in her house, and she's allowed to scream and talk with authority, and that's all we saw her doing.
Absolutely, and something needs to be done about Fatima Daura, because honestly speaking, to have that interview where you're releasing that kind of information and then to threaten to come out with more, nobody should go silent on you. That is absolutely shocking, you're right.
Yes, and I know the last point that you made the last time we discussed this was what her motive was. What could her motive be, and why would she go out to release such a video at that particular time when, social media was abuzz that the president was getting married to?
Well, what the First Lady should note is that in this particular matter, most Nigerians are behind her.
Yes, absolutely. She's now our favorite.
And that's the indication of the visit by the governor's wives to say, look, we support you, we are behind you. And on social media, nobody has really blamed her.
Absolutely.
I think she just went through an awful period in her life, and that might be why she was yelling. Her child almost died.
Well, she has shown grace with this apology, and we love her even more. Well, still here in Nigeria yesterday in Onitsha, a patrol truck exploded after losing control and ramming into some buildings in the upper Iweka axis of the city. Many buildings and shops were caught in the fire, and some residents and shop owners were unable to immediately escape from the scene. A woman and her baby were burned to death, while more than 40 buildings were razed in the tanker explosion. over 500 lock-up shops were also gutted by the fire. The State Commissioner of Police, John Abang, visited the scene for an on-the-spot assessment and appealed to the residents in the city to remain calm while investigations were on the way. I mean, this is the most appalling thing that happened. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the images on social media. They were horrific.
And I think we should also tell people to stop doing that and stop sharing graphic images when things like this happen. Because that's not media, that's not sharing the news. That is actually dark and disrespectful.
Disrespectful of this woman and her little baby.
Thank you.
I mean, I couldn't sleep last night. I just couldn't sleep just seeing that horrible video. But the point that we have to make here is the cause of the accident. Apparently, the tanker failed. The brakes of the tanker failed. Like, I don't understand how a tanker with that type of explosive device is not regularly checked. I mean, that is such a lame excuse for a tanker brake to be failed. I mean, I don't understand how that can ever happen.
Somebody needs to be jailed.
Somebody needs to be. I mean, there has to be some sort of.
You know, there is a group called, is it Truck Owners Association of Nigeria? You know, maybe those owners of the tankers will fall under that category. I think that group needs to be engaged. You can't put explosive material on the streets of Nigeria. And we have cases of these, petrol tankers or petrol-bearing trucks always exploding. This has happened in Onitsha. I think in Lagos, the other time we had a similar case. There was also most recently another case of a tanker capsizing in Lagos and people going to scoop fuel.
They rushed there.
Yes,
they could have died.
That's one part of it. And I hope that the owners of those tankers would be engaged and be tied down to basic, standards of safety. And can we also begin to interrogate how, fuel should be transported?
That was my second point.
How do people transport fuel in other parts of the world?
Yes.
You just carry inflammable material, gas, petrol, diesel, around densely populated parts of the country at a very, wrong hours of the day also.
10 a.m. in the morning, that's what the time it happens.
The other point to raise, in the video that was played, there was some guy saying, the fire service people are not here. The fire service people are not here. Sure. And here in this particular case, the emergency was very poorly managed.
Yes.
It must be possible for fire service, which is over 100 years in the country, to be reorganized in such a way that in the event of an emergency, there will be prompt response and help can be made available, and perhaps the scope of the disaster can be mitigated.
Very well said.
Somebody needs to go to jail for this.
I agree.
I think so.
Someone must.
And there has to be some sort of regulation as well for the actually where the tankers are supposed to. I mean, in America, I hardly see that happening at that type of hour where a tanker with fuel is driving around the street.
How often do you even see tankers with fuels taking to the roads? These things are piped. Every single system in this country just continues to work regressively, and we're not doing anything about it, and people are just dying. We're dropping like flies.
Yes, we're happy that the death toll in this particular incident was not a lot. So
no, even if it was one life.
Yes, I know, but it could have been worse. It could have been worse.
It
could have been worse. Well, now let's head over to South Africa, where the Nigerian Union in South Africa has confirmed the death of another Nigerian entrepreneur who was killed in the country over an alleged business disagreement with a client. The acting chairman of the Nigerian Union, Mr. Sylvester Okonkwo, said the deceased was killed on Tuesday. Speaking with the news agency of Nigeria in a telephone conversation yesterday, Mr. Okonkwo said the victim, whose name is Ikenna Otugo, was a 41-year-old native of Anambra State. He was stabbed to death by unidentified suspects who were allegedly contracted by a female client that was not satisfied with the repairs the victim made on her cell phone. The victim died on the way to the hospital following the stabbing. He's survived by a 9-year-old son. In the past few months, at least 490 Nigerians have fled South Africa over xenophobic attacks. I mean, I thought that the president went over to South Africa to, find ways to mitigate on these xenophobic attacks. And it is so appalling that this is still happening in South Africa. I mean, this is so sad. I mean, just to know, like, the case, I mean, the way that it happened, over a cell phone.
Yeah, his life was that cheap. His life meant absolutely nothing. This was somebody's father. It's horrible. He's only 41 years old. And it just goes to buttress the point that I made here repeatedly. I don't see why President Buhari went to South Africa. I just don't understand it.
The point to be made, I don't know whether we can elevate this to the level of xenophobia. Because, you know, a customer who probably has anger management, you know, disagrees with the phone repairer, and then she picks, you know, a knife and stabs him.
She got people to come and kill him.
Okay, so that is xenophobia.
So the issue is, was he attacked because he's a Nigerian or because there was a disagreement? So what we can insist upon is that both the aggrieved lady, you know, who resorted to violence, and the person she recruited to come and attack, you know, the Sylvester Okonkwo, you know, they should be apprehended and they should be made to face the full wrath of the law.
Yeah, investigations.
Because if they would do it to Sylvester Okonkwo, they would do it to maybe Christopher Ramaphosa, or do it to Fidelis Zuma.
Not necessarily.
This is the point I'm making.
But there has been a pattern, Dr. Abati, and that's what's been happening in South Africa.
Nigerian lives don't mean anything. The lives of other Africans are worthless. It's their lives that are worth something. Such that if it was a South African phone repairer, you might have like a shouting match and leave his shop and never return. But if it's a Nigerian, you go and tell the tale and you get people to come and deal with this Nigerian.
Exactly.
It's horrible.
It's disgusting. That's what it is. It's absolutely disgusting. I don't know what the president thought he was going to achieve when he took his trip to South Africa, because we literally said these attacks are going to continue. You need to show a hard hand. You need to make sure you put Nigeria first. And look, we had a situation of him basically saying, when in Rome, act like the Romans, and now your nationals are still being attacked.
Blaming us for the way we're being treated in South Africa.
Justice must be done. And the Nigerian High Commission in South Africa, you know, should take this up particularly and protest and ensure that justice is done.
Absolutely.
Because this is an act of criminality on the part of the offenders, the croupiers.
Poor guy, may his soul rest in peace. Well, let's take our final story under entertainment. Let's go over to entertainment. Oscar-winning actress Lupita Nyongo has been promoting her debut children's book, Sulwe, which the actress said she wrote to help children learn to love the skin they're in. Sulwe is all about self-love, and the protagonist in the book is inspired by the actress herself, and she even wears the same dress in the same shade of Nairobi blue as the one actress wore in the 2014 Oscars. In honor of the book's debut, Lupita took to her Instagram page to share a speech she gave at the 2014 Essence Black Women in Hollywood luncheon that inspired the book.
Received a letter from a girl, and I'd like to share just a small part of it with you. Dear Lupita, it reads, I think you're really lucky to be this black, but yet this successful in Hollywood overnight. I was just about to buy Densha's Whitenicious cream to lighten my skin when you appeared on the world map and saved me. My heart bled a little when I read those words. I could never have guessed that my first job out of school would be so powerful in and of itself, and that it would propel me to be such an image of hope in the same way that the women of the color purple were to me.
Oh, this is so amazing, Lupita. I mean, I think it's such an encouraging thing to do as a black woman in that caliber. I mean, she went on to say that, you know, when she started acting, she didn't know she was going to be accepted the way that she was accepted. And especially the fact that, I think she connected very much with Alekwek as well, because Alekwek was basically the first real black skinned beauty besides Grace Jones at that time. Grace Jones wasn't that dark skinned, but Alek, when she came in, she really, you know, changed the whole game in the industry. And the fact that Lupita has chosen to write this book for children, I think it's such an encouragement. She finds a successful career also as a writer. Yes, she will. And I think she should be encouraged. Yes, thank you very much, Oji. Thank you. See you tomorrow.